All water eventually drains into an ocean, right? Wrong. This red line is the Great Divide, the primary hydrologic divide in North America. Simply put, most precipitation that falls to the west of the red line eventually drains into the Pacific Ocean, while most precipitation that falls to the east of the red line eventually ends up in either the Arctic or Atlantic Ocean. But what is this weird little circle that splits the divide in two in southern Wyoming? That is the Great Divide Basin. The Great Divide Basin is an interesting geographic feature called an endorheic basin. This means that any precipitation that falls over the Great Divide Basin never actually makes it to an ocean. Instead, it drains inward, never leaving the basin itself. Now, endorheic basins are actually pretty common, and the Great Basin, which is a large series of contiguous endorheic watersheds that covers an area much larger than California, is probably the most famous example in the United States. But what sets the Great Divide Basin apart from the Great Basin and other endorheic basins is its location right on the continental divide itself. So what is it that causes this phenomenon to occur where it does? Why does the continental divide suddenly split in two in southern Wyoming? Well, it's simply a matter of local topography. You see, the Great Divide Basin is a large depression that's surrounded by higher topography on all sides. As a result, it lacks any sort of outlet that allows water to leave the basin and eventually drain into an ocean. But if that's the case, then where does the precipitation that falls in the Great Divide Basin actually end up? Well, first things first, the Great Divide Basin is part of Wyoming's Red Desert, which means that it's incredibly arid and doesn't receive all that much precipitation in the first place. However, the water from the little precipitation that it does receive either drains into a series of small alkaline lakes or it simply evaporates. So ultimately, the water in the Great Divide Basin has a much shorter and less interesting journey than water almost anywhere else on Earth. Comment below if you knew that not all water drains into an ocean, and follow for more geography content.